South Park Snow Day. That is our first topic. Sideways thumb? Oh, downwards thumb. Let's hear it, Dave. Or do you want to? Do you want me to throw the trailer right away?
Let's throw the trailer up there
Okay.
because people might not know about this game.
Yeah.
And before we get number one, before we get too far into it, I want people to see what we're looking at because there's going to be a reason why we're kind of talking badly about the game.
And South Park is a 2D TV show. Let's just put that out there.
Let's just put that out there.
Yeah.
So the premise of this game, obviously, it's a South Park game, so we don't need much of a storyline here. We're seeing a bunch of snowflakes if you guys are just listening on the Spotify. But right now, the basic premise of the game, all we really know about it, is that it looks like it's a return to the Stick of Truth because we can see Cartman wearing his it's
wizard
me.
wizard's hat.
He's got like his wizard costume on, the one from the Stick of Truth. So it looks like we're going back to that. And it just says snow day, so it looks like the kids are getting a day off from school for a snow day. And that's a storyline. That's all we really have to go on. But what we're seeing right now is very
pure
concerning.
Chaos and yeah. Go ahead, keep going.
Yeah, so what we're seeing right now is, if you guys are familiar with the first games that came out, they were very much in the art style of the TV show. It was a 2D. I don't want to call it a side scroller, but it was basically a 2D side scroller.
Mm-hmm.
And we are seeing these characters in full 3D renderings, much like the N64 games that came out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also just pure chaos. I'm not really sure what's happening in the actual trailer, but it does not look like a story mode of any type. It looks like a 4-on-4 COD style or like Fortnite or like some type of co-op, and that's disappointing.
I have some things to say about that. So I think there may be a player versus player element, but I don't think that's the main premise of the game. I do think it is supposed to be it's a 4-person co-op game, but it's supposed to be story based, kind of like a roguelike almost, or not roguelike, sorry, just like a horde, like where enemies are coming in. There's supposed to be different quests within the game. So I don't know if it's supposed to be so much of a multiplayer like PvP, more so a PvE. Is from what I've been reading, the videos I was watching. But that doesn't say, that's just rumors of like what they think of the game. But that seems to be the main premise, that it might be a co-op story-based quest kind of game.
I mean, I can only hope, but the vibe that I'm getting from this, at least this trailer, I don't know if they're going hard in the paint, like trying to sell this multiplayer right off the bat, but this does not look like the third installment of the games that I love. So like the first game that came out, The Stick of Truth, amazing. I loved it. The second game that came out was The Fractured Butthole, where they did the same premise, but instead of doing the witches and wizards type thing, they did the superhero thing, which I loved that. And I don't know where they're going with this franchise. Like why? My biggest question is like, did Matt Stone and Trey Parker finally sell out? Is my question. It's like, multiplayer games are very popular right now, and did they kind of move away from the series that the fans really loved and just kind of sold out and did this multiplayer co-op thing?
Or are they trying to cater to a different audience in terms of like game, you know what I mean? Like game genres and just style. But still fans of South Park. I don't know if there's so much to sell out, or they're just trying to reach a bigger audience in terms of like game style and like preferences of games.
I mean, so what I've kind of looked at here is like, it does indeed feel like a 4-on-4 like PvP situation. That's what it feels like to me. And camera angle is like that semi top down, like Diablo kind of style from what I've seen in the gameplay footage. It does look like a 4-on-4, and that is definitely not how the original first two games were.
Right.
I don't know how they're going to pull this off, because even if there is a story element to the game, right? How does the combat in in the game work with the combat in the multiplayer section?
I'm not sure.
So here's my thing. On the first two, have you ever played the first two games?
Nope.
Okay, so the first two games are traditional turn-based RPGs, right?
Okay.
So how do you do that in a multiplayer format, especially with all of the chaos that we see going along with the trailer? So if it's going to be, it looks like everybody's free to move at the same time, right?
Right.
If everybody's free to move at the same time, that gets rid of the turn-based style RPG combat.
Right.
So are they reworking an entire, like you can see in the trailer right now, like everybody's kind of running around going nuts, and like
Right.
that's not how a turn-based RPG works. It's this is pure chaos, and it's like, are they going to maintain the turn-based RPG for the story mode and then change it for the multiplayer, or are we changing the entire concept of the game?
I think it's supposed to be a standalone title. I don't think it's supposed to be the turn-based RPG. I think they're going completely new in terms of just like the specific of the game. I don't think it's supposed to be that turn-based RPG like at all. I think it's
I mean,
supposed to be more like a hack and slash game.
I'm very disappointed. Like I'm very very disappointed. And I think here's a good example here is, like, I know you said they're catering to a new audience, and all that stuff. You are not the biggest South Park fan.
Nope.
You are the new audience. So you are the new target audience because you also like to play these like online, multiplayer PvP kind of games. Is this interesting to you?
Because it's South Park? No.
So their plan is already backfired.
Yeah, I suppose. Okay, but okay, are you more upset that it's 3D? Or are you more upset that it's not an RPG, like turn-based game?
I'm more upset that it's not an RPG.
Yeah. Okay.
I could care. I honestly, like, I know people are like kind of worried about this 3D thing, and like honestly, I don't care about the 3D thing.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't. It doesn't bother me. I mean, I obviously loved the aesthetics of the first two games because it was exactly like the show. Like, it brought the show to life.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to make it, if I had the choice of like a 3D story-based RPG third installment or a 2D like co-op multiplayer whatever, like, I'm picking the 3D 10 times out of 10.
Right. I wonder if it's going to be a game that you will have, like, is it kind of how we were talking with Gangs of Sherwood? Or if you don't have 4 players, is it going to be like you can't play, or you need to like match make? I wonder how that's going to work with it too. Or if it is a story mode, is it going to have the AI join your team as well?
I mean, yeah, we talked about this with the Crash, with like the Crash game.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you're just gonna get loaded into these random lobbies, and you'll get sucked in wherever you fit to make a match happen. And if a match doesn't happen, they'll just load in some AI nonsense.
Yeah.
But like, I think why people are so upset is because South Park fans that love these games. I love the games because of like
It makes you
what
feel
it
like you're in the show.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
it makes it feel like what's encompassing in the show. And like, you are playing as quote unquote the new kid, so you're not playing
Yep.
as a character in the show, but all of the characters in the show are present, and like all the situations in the show are something that plays out throughout the game. There's a ton of Easter eggs, a ton of references and stuff like that, and you're gonna lose that because it looks like everything that I've seen on this co-op multiplayer is like, you are going to create your own avatar, and every single person is going to have their own avatar in the game. So it's like, it's not so much a South Park game, it's just an online multiplayer that you can
Looks
create
like
your
South
characters
Park.
that looks like a South Park character. It's not South Park at all.
I don't know. I think it's going to be one of those things that we'll learn more with time. I really do think it's supposed to be a story-based like co-op rather than a full-blown multiplayer. But I could be wrong. But from what I've seen with the video, and kind of that spot where like it looks like the NPCs are like that's the horde hack and slash that I was kind of saying. Here, let me pull it back up here. That's kind of where I think, like right here, I don't think it's like all the green around your character. I think that's like the players, but everybody else is like not players. But like I
So
said, it could be maybe a mix of both, where you will have your story, and then that you won't have this like, and then there's multiplayer like PvP.
I mean, I can only hope. The only thing that's concerning with me on the trailer in that standpoint is the only character that I recognize from the trailer is Cartman. The rest of those characters that you're seeing running around in like the chaos situation, none of those characters are characters that I've ever seen in the show, which makes me believe that they're your kind of avatar characters.
I did see in the description like of the game it said join the main characters like Kenny, Cartman. I don't know the other ones. That's how much of a fan of South Park I am. But so I think that it is going to have those main characters. It's just a matter of how much are they going to show up in the game.
Yeah. I mean, tentatively, I would like to say that Matt Stone and Trey Parker have kind of never let me down. They've never really, I cannot think of any instance where they've really sold out and like they've strayed away from something that they want to do. And I don't think now would be the time. So I'm really, really hoping that like they are going to give us.
You can't lose faith in your guys.
I'm not losing faith. I'm not losing faith in them. I will say, with all the things that you can say about them, they have never sold out. They've never sold out. They haven't done it yet. I'm hoping we get the third installment of the game that, you know, I think the fans really want to play, and maybe this multiplayer is just kind of a new feature that they're adding. So fingers crossed on that.
Or like I said, maybe it's just a bridge to a third one of that. Maybe like an in-between, like, hey, let's give another game for somebody, like a different type of game for other people. And then maybe a third installment of those, like the RPG that you love, it comes in.
Yeah. I mean, I'm hoping for it. The only really big concern that I have is like Ubisoft was responsible for the first two games, and Ubisoft has nothing to do with this game.
Gotcha.
So this is a full-blown different developer. This is THQ Nordic.
Right.
Ubisoft did the first two games, so like there is concern there that we're not going to get the third installment. But like I said, Matt Stone, Trey Parker never let me down before. I don't think they're going to sell out now. They have no point. They have more money than they could possibly ever need. I don't think they're going to sell out now.
Right.
So hopefully we get the game that we were hoping for.
A little bit into the game of what it is. So it is 3D, but what I've kind of noticed with the trailer a little bit, they didn't like make all the aspects 3D. Like if you see with the mouth, it's very similar to the TV show, like the animations of the mouth. Like one of the older, I think you were saying the N64 South Park games is like their eyes were like bulging out. The eyes are still flat with their head. And then with the movements of the characters though, they kind of have a 2D like drawn movement to them, like in terms of like the videos, like the cutscenes of it. Those look like they're like 2D. You know what I mean? Like the way they move. Yes, it's 3D, but the way they move is like similar to the TV show. So I think they're saying pretty like accurate with that, except for the 3D aspect.
It's like a 2.5D.
Yeah, right.
I don't know if that makes sense to anybody, but it's like a 2.5D. It's like almost 3D, but with like 2D aspects. Yeah, I like I said, I mean, it's a South Park game, so I'm gonna want to check it out. I just, you know, I really, really hope that we get that storyline that you know the fans really want.
And then kind of from what I was seeing with the trailer a little bit, it looks like your character and the other, like your teammates, are going to have different abilities kind of based on like what your role is in the game. And so I wonder how that's going to play out. And it looks like it's going to be some of those fantasy weapons, like the swords and stuff like that. So I think it's kind of cool. And then was there tons of customization in the other games?
There was a lot of customization.
And I think based off of like kind of what we're seeing with the trailers, we're going to get a bunch of that with this game as well. Like just because like you get to pick your new kid, and I don't know why they would digress to go be like, oh, you have 4 preset faces and like 6 outfits. I think they're going to make it so you can make you as new kid on the block or the new kid. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the character models are so easy to make. Like to make a South Park character is so easy.
It's a couple
like
circles,
they have to put
slap on.
Right.
Yeah.
They basically have to. You just pick your hair and like that's your South Park character. So like the customization of like outfits and like glasses and hats and like all of that stuff was all crazy. And honestly, I think the Stick of Truth did better at it than the Fractured Butthole. I did like the Fractured Butthole, but I also I think the story of the Stick of Truth, just personally for me, played a little bit better to this like
Okay.
kind of fantasy like kind of thing. So I'm glad that they went back to it. But yeah,
Okay.
please give me a storyline. Please give me a
Give me a
storyline. Please
storyline.
give me a
Dave is a
storyline.
storyline game guy only. If it doesn't have a
I'm
storyline, he's not playing it.
I'm such a loner. Like I really like as much as I love to just jam out and play games with the homies, like I'm such a like in-depth single player story mode loner gamer. It's not even funny.